friends, I'm Rosa, welcome. So, it's been a whole year since I did this video, go figure. It's called the Mid-Year Freakout tag. Actually, I'm not sure that I did it last year. I might have. I cannot remember for the life of me right now, but we're definitely doing it this year. If you don't know what the tag is about, it's basically going through all of the books you've read for the first or during the first 6 months of the year. So I have read 90 books total. Those also include graphic novels, so it's not like 90 novels this thick, you know? Otherwise that would sound like quite a lot, but 90 still. So we have quite a lot to go through. I will try my best to make this as short as possible, but I also realize that I have a tendency to go off on rants. So with that in mind, let's get started with question 1. Oh, by the way, I'm leaving links to the books that we're talking about down below, along with the questions as well, or the list of questions. But prompt 1 is best book you've read so far this year. I went through the list of books that I read, and this one just jumped out to me because I was hooked from the start. So Circe by Madeline Miller. I thought it was beautiful. It's a retelling of the goddess Circe, and Madeline Miller just has a way with words. Like, she has a beautiful lyrical song-like way of writing that just encaptures me right away. So this one definitely, hands down the best book. I've read a lot of good books this year, but hands down the best one that I read so far is Circe, or Ghost to Circe. Prompt 2 is best sequel you've read so far this year. The problem with that prompt is that I have not read a sequel to a book or a series that I started last year. I just realized as I went through my list of books. That's awkward. Yes, I'm laughing at myself because that's so bad. I'll get better at that, I promise. But as an honorary mention, at least, out of the sequels I have read, because I have read a couple, I just started the series this year and I feel like the question isn't aimed at that. I feel like the question is like a sequel to a book you read last year, so anyway. But I want to mention Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong because I thought it was really, really good. I like this a little bit more than I liked the first one, and I think this is kind of like definitely caused me to keep an eye on Chloe Gong as the writer, because I think especially now with her book coming out, her adult book coming out, Immortal Longings, I think writing adult books would actually look good for her, or like would do good for her, because she has a very mature way of writing. So Our Violent Ends though, I thought it was beautiful. I'm still kind of I'm gonna mention this later because yeah, you'll understand later if you read the book. Anyway. Prompt 3 is a new release you haven't read yet but want to. This one shouldn't come as a surprise because like it's all over social media. But I have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and I have the first edition with the stenciled edges that apparently sold out like, I don't understand. It's crazy. Online. It's a crazy world. I had not heard of the book when I ordered it. I just saw that it was a normal book with stenciled edges and I was like, I need it in my life. That's literally all. Oh, and there's dragons in it, but that's all I knew. Stenciled edges with dragons on them, and there's dragons in the book. And now it's all over social media. The hype for this book is basically unheard of. We are reading it with the book club in July. If you want to join us, go check out the book club. There's a link to it in the pinned comment. But I'm very, very excited to see if it lives up to the hype. So as far as I know, it's fantasy romance and there's a lot of dragons, or a couple of dragons. It's like an academy story. It's an academy story with dragons in it as well. And possibly a little bit of like, not necessarily an enemies to lovers story, but they're not friendly as far as I've gathered. So that's all I know. But she's shiny, she's beautiful, and super hyped. So we'll see if it lives up to it, but I'm very excited and I have not read it yet. I did pre-order the sequel though, because I do that sometimes. And then we have prompt 4, which is most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. So I have 3 that I want to mention. First off, I have not finished Harrow the Ninth, but I'm very, very excited for Alecto the Ninth. No, not Harrow. I have read Harrow. Nona. I'm reading Nona the Ninth right now, which is so weird, but I feel like that basically encapsulates the Locked Tomb as a series overall. It's a little bit all over the place. It's definitely an acquired taste, but if you like it, you really love it. The characters are funny, filled with personality. There are meme references all the time, or not all the time, but a couple here and there, and I don't know if I want to call them meme reference. Well, maybe. She has a funny sense of humor, Tamsin. I still haven't haven't figured out how to pronounce her last name. I apologize, but I literally do not know. But funny sense of humor, and it really shines through in the writing, even though the writing also, like, what you're reading is not necessarily like pretty or funny necessarily. It's like super serious, but then just with a humorous tone to it. I don't know. It's so weird that it's funny. I feel like that's the best way I can describe it. So Nona is all over the place right now as I'm reading the story, but I have full faith in Tamsin that it'll come together at some point and start making sense. But yes, for this reason, I'm very confident that despite not having finished Nona, I will be positively surprised by the ending of it, and will very much look forward to Alecto the Ninth, which is the last book in the Locked Tomb series. In a similar vein, I also have not finished Glow yet, which is the fourth book which is the fourth book in the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy, but having not finished it and basically just being super slow at finishing it, I really love what I'm reading. I just have not had the time to pick it up, but I love the whole like world that it takes place in. I love the characters as well, so I'm very confident that I won't be disappointed by the ending of the book, and I'll be looking very much forward to Gold, which unfortunately was delayed, so I think it's coming out in December, even though it was supposed to have been released here in June, I think. But yeah, it is what it is. And the last one of them is actually, speaking of Chloe Gong, Immortal Longings. I'm very much looking forward to that book. It's coming out here in July. I think it's a retelling of something with Cleopatra, but I cannot remember for this very moment. I cannot remember. I read too many synopses, like they're all like all over the place in my head. It's a thing, but I'm very much looking forward to Immortal Longings. Definitely keep an eye on that book. So, prompt 5. I actually have 2 for this one. It is biggest disappointments / DNFs. So, in March, I think, I cannot remember when, May, maybe, we read, no, it was not May. It might have been May, doesn't matter. Anyway, we read For the Wolf by Hannah Witten with the book club, and I had to DNF it after, I think, 40% or 60. Nothing happened in the book. Like, I feel like on paper, I should have liked it because it's supposed to be a little bit dark. It's supposed to have a bit of an enemies to lovers situation. It's supposed to have blood and sacrifice and that kind of thing, but nothing happened in it. So this made me not feel like reading at all, unfortunately. But on paper, I should have liked it. In a similar kind of vein again, on paper, I should have liked Seven Faceless Saints, because this is supposed to be, it's YA, but it's supposed to be dark fantasy with an enemy to lover situation, a super stabby, kind of grumpy lead girl, or at least like lovers to strangers to enemies to lovers situation, like that sort of thing. The way that this is written creates the biggest disconnect between the words on the page and the reader who's reading them. There's no feeling to it. Again, it made me not want to read, and I really tried to give it a go, but like every time I read it, I was bored and I was so frustrated that I just couldn't connect with the book. So definitely, a big disappointment for me. I had really high hopes for this one, but it is what it is. And then for prompt 6, we have biggest surprises or / out of comfort zone. So I have 2 that I want to mention, but I don't have them as physical copies. The first one is a thriller, mystery, whatever you want to call those, called The Housemaid. I cannot remember the author's name, but it's on the cover, which I'm leaving right here. Like McFadden? Was that it? Frida? Oh gosh, I suck. Anyway, oh my god, I was right. Frida McFadden. Lovely. But this was, I basically picked it up on a whim because I wanted to read something a little bit out of my comfort zone. I don't read a lot of thrillers or mystery books. They're not something that I reach for, and I don't really have a lot in my collection either. I have a few, just not a lot. And I went on Kindle Unlimited to see what the #1 mystery book was, and it was The Housemaid. So I read it, and it was really funny. Loved the twists as well in it. Did not see them coming necessarily. Also, I read it so quickly that I don't think I had time to think it through, like, what did I think the twists were gonna be. It was just, it was really funny. I can recommend if you're trying to also find a thriller that you would like if you're not used to reading thrillers or mysteries, whatever. I think it might be a thriller. I don't know the exact definition of it, but I thought it was good. The other one I want to mention is technically 5 shorter novellas, sort of, that are gathered into or collected into one book. It is, I can't say this without swearing by the way, but Mindf by Stabby, which also stands for Stabby, which I love and did not realize until, I didn't realize until book 4 or something out of 5. But I picked this up just as like I need something easy to read, and I really loved it. I read through the books so quickly because it was so good, so captivating, so suspenseful, a little bit on the darker side, a lot of trigger warnings for the series, but I had a really good time with it. I thought it was really good. So I would recommend, if you haven't checked it out and you have KU, definitely give it a go or give it a chance. For prompt 7, we have favorite new author, debut or new to you. So I again want to mention Chloe Gong, and I also own Foul Lady Fortune. I have what's it called? Last Violent Call on its way to me soon, and I'm planning on pre-ordering Foul Heart Huntsman, I think that's what it's called, once I get access to it through Fairy Loot, because I'm very confident that I like it. I really liked this duology. So I think, again, mentioned earlier in the video, that Chloe Gong, it'll do her good to write adult books, because she has a very, based on this duology, has a very mature way of writing, a very like beautiful flowy way of writing, I feel. So didn't really realize that it was a debut, and so we'll definitely be keeping an eye on her. The other author that I want to mention is J. Bree, because I read the entire Broken Bonds series in like 10 days, 5 days. I read them very quickly. They are not thin books. Like, they are like 500, 600 pages each. But I had such a good time with those books. Like, definitely not like super, you know, masterpieces. Definitely not. But I just really enjoyed them. So I'm keeping an eye on basically everything that she does from now on. I know that she has at least 2 novellas out as well, and there's something else going on with like a new series too. I'm keeping an eye on it. It might not be reverse harem just like Broken Bonds was, but I'm keeping an eye on it. Yeah, that series definitely opened my eyes to a whole new genre of romance books, which surprised me, but was enjoyable nonetheless. So, J. Bree. Prompt 8 is newest fictional crush. I'll admit, I don't really have, among the books, none of the lead characters have really like impressed me that, like, I don't, like, they don't give me butterflies, if you know what I mean. But if I had to mention some lead characters, we're gonna go with, what's his name? Alex Volkov and Reese Larson from the Twisted series by Anna Huang, which I am currently reading Twisted Games with the book club in a as part of read along, and we read this one last month or earlier this month, depending on when this video is going out. She definitely writes men that I love to read about in books. Like, if I was a book character facing these characters, I would be like, yes, you can have me, it's fine. I'm content with it, okay, whatever. If I met them in person, I'd be like, no, screw you, go away. Like, what the heck? Because these guys have issues, big issues, like, I don't even. Issues, okay? My friends, issues. Alex is slightly psychotic, and Reese is definitely a bit of a grump. And I hate it when people are grumpy just for the sake of being grumpy. Like, your life is not that bad. I'm sure that some people's are, but in general, your life is not that bad for you to not be able to be happy now and then, you know? Or just stop being rude for no reason. But in books, it's a whole different situation. There's a line. Red flags in books don't necessarily count in real life. Or red flags in the other way around. Stop. The other way around, okay. Red flags in real life don't necessarily equal red flags in books. Is that toxic of me to say? Yes, probably. I'm unhealthy, I don't care. At least I know there's a distinction, you know? So, I would go with these 2. I'm excited to read the rest of the series with the book club as well. Having a lot of fun with it, and I love matching the books with the tabs as well. This is so satisfying. Moving on. As for prompt 9, people are racing outside or something. Just ignore it in the background if you can hear it. I don't know what's going on. But prompt 9 is newest favorite character. So I have 2 that I want to mention. One was kind of, I'm showing off the book in a little bit, but first off, Amina al-Sirafi from The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. She is like a confident, but kind of like she knows what she's doing. and she is, how is that, what's that word? Convincing as well. Like, she knows what to say. But at the same time, she has a heart. She has a daughter that she's very protective of, and she's incredibly protective of her crew as well on her ship. And I just adore this, like, this energy combined. I think she's mature and she's confident and protective, but at the same, like, she just gets stuff done, and I really, really adore her vibe. So I would say that she's one of my favorites. Definitely, like, biggest plus point of that book. Loved it, by the way, but biggest plus point of that book was Amina as a character. I can't wait to see what happens in book 2. Also, because, like, she's not perfect still at the same time. Like, she makes mistakes, you know? Definitely. But the other character that I want to mention is Tisana from Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. I loved her from page 10 or something. Like, I just need a moment to, like, ease into it, and then I'm like, I love you. So not page 1, but page 10. And I also loved the banter and the chemistry between her and Max in this book, who is, it's a bit of like a grumpy sunshine situation. So while we are in Tisana's head, we know that she's not all sunshine and rainbows all the time. She's not happy all the time. But compared to Max, she's definitely the sunshine to his grump. So I just love that she's so strong, overcoming her past, because she's not had an easy past, and I love that she is so, like, goal-oriented and will do what it takes to get there, even though she too makes mistakes. I don't like perfect characters. I just don't. I think they're boring. So I like when they make mistakes and they know they've made mistakes. They own up to them, but, like, she's working through it. And I can't wait to see where her journey is going as well. I was going to say the character from The Serpent and the Wings of Night, but as it turns out, I think I read that at the end of December. I do have the book though, so I'm planning on, I read it on KU, but now I have the physical copy of it, so I am planning on doing a reread. But as I realized, I think I read it in December, so couldn't mention her. I can't remember her name anyway, but yeah. Carissa Broadbent apparently writes female characters that I really adore. Prompt 10 is a book that made you cry. I haven't cried to a single book. I think one of the reasons this year, I have cried before. Do not mention the Song of Achilles. No. But this year I haven't, and I don't think it's because I haven't, well, partly due to the fact that I haven't really read a lot of books that are sad. I've read a lot of books that kind of, like, lean and on that vibe. Like, they're definitely a bit on the heavier side, emotions-wise, but none that really, like, hits you in the gut. So I think that is one of the reasons. Another one being that I read too many books at the same time right now. I really need to slow down on that because I can't really fully immerse myself in a story if I read 5 books at the same time. But one that I do want to mention is Our Violent Dance by Chloe Gong. But, like, I'll just say, if you have read this book, I'm in denial. Like, I don't know. Nope. It did not happen, okay? Nothing happened in this. There's no reason to be sad, okay? We're good. I think everything's fine. So I'm moving on. And that means we are at Prompt 11, which is a book that made you happy. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is actually, like, make you happy material necessarily. It just made me really happy while reading it. Lore Olympus, Volume 1 by Rachel Smith, or Smythe. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. And I think it's because of the vibe. Like, if I had a little bit of, like, a down point to my day, I would pick this up and I would instantly smile. It's a Persephone and Hades retelling, but it's a graphic novel and it's super vibrant. Love the style that is going on here. I think it's so charming and I just love Persephone as a character. And now it's happening again. I'm all smiley, but, like, it's so cute. So, like, if I'm saving volume 2 and 3 for my rainy days, as I call them, days where I'm just not super happy and I just need something easy to read, but also something that I know will put a smile on my face. I could also reread this, obviously. Like, I could, and I would. I will at some point, because this was so good. This was actually gifted to me by one of you. Thank you. It's brought a lot of joy it brought a lot of joy to my January. Thank you so much. I need to get volume 4 and 5 from, oh my god. I'm gonna reread this before I go into volume 2. I've decided, but I need to get volume 4 and 5 from Barnes & Nobles because volume 4 is green. Like, what the heck? The rest are blue and purple. Why is volume 4 green? What was going on with that? It's weird. Then we have prompt number 12, which is most beautiful book you have acquired this year. My problem is in life that I can't pick. When it comes to anything, I cannot make decisions for the life of me. I would not do well in horror movies, if you catch my drift. So, I have picked 4, not 8. 4 that I'm just quickly going to show you. First off, I also have the broken binding set, but I'm going to show the Illumicrate set of Roots of Chaos by Samantha Shannon. So we have, first off, Priory of the Orange Tree with a beautiful cover. It's the standard cover, but it does have foiling in a different color than the original color. It has the most stunning stenciled edges that look like this, that actually match the replica that they've made of Escalon, which I have right here, so you can see. Actually, it's the pineapple sword. You know, it's the pineapple sword. Inside, and on the naked cover, we have a dragon, which is stunning. Beautiful, stunning. And then we have end papers that I literally gasped at when I opened. Like, I went like, totally. I was just like, what? Beautiful. I adore this. I think they made such a good choice for artist. It's beautiful. I love it. And the best part is there are 2 books. So I have 3, the Priory of the Orange Tree editions in my office, and I had a friend visiting the other day who saw, and she was like, but why? I'm like, cause they're pretty. I love the book and they're pretty, and she's still like, but why? You don't have to get it. You don't have to understand it. Okay. But I also have A Day of Fallen Night. Again, standard cover, but it doesn't have the text up here, which is nice. But it also has silver foiling for the, or on the title, which I think the original is just black. It has blue edges with Tuva's spear that look really, really good. It also has a dragon on the naked cover. No, it's not sniffing its butt. I don't know why people keep saying that. I do not see it. If you see it, then good for you. But I don't. I see stunningness. Beautiful. It's grabbing my hair. We stopped doing that. It also has beautiful end papers that just I adore so much. I also really like the fact that they actually they have the 2 different dragons on the covers. So they have the evil dragons on the Priory covers, and they have the good dragons on the A Day of Fallen Night covers. I like that. I think I'd probably call these worms instead of dragons per se, but I think they actually do it the other way around in the books. I can't remember. But anyway, gorgeous, beautiful, just stunning covers just by default, or like the OG cover is just beautiful as it is as well. So, but I have 2 more that I want to show. Because I also have Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty, and this is the Fairy Loot edition with a redesigned cover done by the original cover artist as well, so like it fits really well with the vibe. The back looks like this. We have stenciled edges that are probably some of my favorite edges that I've ever seen in a or on a special edition. I love the like contrast between the colors. I love the tentacle arms, kraken arms, probably not tentacle arms. 2023 was also the year that I started reading Monster Smash, so it shows. But we also have foiling on the naked cover, which is the same on the back. Spine matches the dust jacket spine, and then we have stunning end papers that are foiled with the map and Amina. And in the back, they're slightly different. We have the map again foiled, but we have the cat. So I love this edition. I'm so happy that I had issues with both the February and the March book from Fairy Loot, the adult books. So I'm really happy that this actually ended up showing up. We're not talking about the March one. It's here, it's just, I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, lastly though, another Illumicrate book, which is Song of Silver. Yes, I thought I had it wrong for a second. Song of Silver, Flame Like Night by Emily Wen Xiao. And this is because like, oh, look at the edges. I mean, this is art, you know, like it technically is. I don't know why she won't focus on the edges. Stupid camera sometimes, but like this is a masterpiece. Beautiful. And then the way that I gasped when I took off the dust jacket, like we have the animals on the naked cover as well with foil. It's so pretty. It's so stunning. I am in awe. End papers that are signed that are the same in the back, but no signature in the back. That hurt a little bit. I think my soul just broke into 1,000 pieces. Are you okay? Oh, she's fine. It's like that when you open books sometimes, they have to make that noise. This has already been opened because she's signed, but like, oh, that hurt for a second. Anyway, she is stunning. I love her. I think she's a masterpiece. Absolutely beautiful. I adore gorgeous. Prompt 13 is, what books do you need to read before the end of the year? And I think this might be the last prompt that I can actually reply or answer. Because one was like, book to movie adaptation that you loved the most. I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, but there's a bonus one that I'm answering afterwards. But as for books that I need to read before the end of the year, I have two that I have picked out from my bookcases. Obviously, you can see in the background that a lot of my books are wrapped up right now. The ones on the top shelf are ones that I need to read before the end of the year. I can't show them because they're wrapped up, but I'll let you guys know some of the titles. However, some of the ones that I have already unwrapped is We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faizal, which is the sequel to We Hunt the Flame that I loved so much. It was beautiful. So this is like both a duology. It's a duology, but it's just, you know, it's second, so it's the finished. I don't know how to phrase that all of a sudden. There is a word and it's, you know what I mean. It's the last book in the duology, but oh my god, what is the word? Anyway, I'm very, very excited to read this. I thought We Hunt the Flame was so beautiful, so can't wait to get acquainted with this world again, but also the characters. I thought they were just, yes. And I think actually my favorite character is a secondary character who's, I can't say that because that's a spoiler, so moving on. The other one is Defend the Dawn by Bridget Kemmerer, which is the sequel to Defy the Night. I thought this was the duology, but apparently there is Destroy the Day that is coming out possibly in January. Defy the Night was one of my top YA reads of last year. I read it with the book club. I thought it was so good. Like, it just had me from page one, and so bingeable as well. Love the whole Robin Hood retelling part of it as well. So I have high hopes for this. Please don't let me down because I will be destroyed. And the title is Destroy the Day, not Destroy the Rosa, so don't do it. But as for the other books, I have a list, so that's why I'm sitting with my phone. We have Kingdom of the Feared, The War of Two Queens. I think the 5th book is actually coming out here in the fall. The Oleander Sword, Never Night, She Who Became the Sun. The Ballad of Never After, the 3rd book is also coming out in the fall. We have The Wicked King and Queen of Nothing. Good Girl, Bad Blood. The Vanishing Stair, Hook, Line, and Sinker. Flock. Jade City, Red Rising, Scarlet, Love in the Brain, and lastly, The Poppy War. So there's a couple that I still need to get through. I made a list and I've read like 23 books and I've read 5 of them. Oh gosh, well, you know which books I'm reading for the last part of the year at least. So I think the last prompt was content creators that you like to watch. So what is that prompt, 15 or 14? I can't remember. I tend to not really watch a lot of either BookTube or which is actually a shame because I really enjoy BookTube overall. I think it's not that I don't watch BookTube, it's just that I like to watch vlogs or true crime. There's nothing in between. But among my top favorite content creators, when I do go to watch BookTube, we have Jody, who I think was called Vanilla Moon before, but now she's just called Jody. She makes a lot of reading vlogs that I enjoy so much. She has a really good vibe in them. Does a lot of book hauls as well. She's a bookseller. So if you like that sort of thing, definitely go check her out. I've also been watching Brittany the Bibliophile for a long time by now. Makes a lot of good content as well. Love her vlogs as well. It's kind of like my vibe. Vlogs, definitely my vibe. So I would definitely recommend checking out her channel too. She also loves Sarah J Maas. Like, oh, so does Jody. But I mean, yes. Got that in common, I suppose. I'm like drawn towards those booktubers that just like, Sarah J Maas is her queen. I'm like, yes, I know. And lastly, I also want to mention Mel. What is Mel's channel name? It's not Mel. Mel Reads? It actually is Mel Reads, who is super funny, super hilarious, and has a lot of like top quality content as well. So those three I don't know why I'm pointing up here because they're not going to be up here. They're going to be in the description box if you want to check them out. But that is all I got for you guys today. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have read any of the books that I mentioned today, let me know your thoughts on them, whether you agree with me or disagree. I want to know your thoughts. If you want to answer the prompts as well yourself, feel free to. And if you want to recommend any books to me that fit with the prompts, such as books that will make me cry, because I'm definitely missing some of those here in 2023. We love crying over books rather that than other stuff. So let me know, help a girl out a little bit. But I think that is all for today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to hit the thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this from me, but also all of the other booktube stuff, definitely consider sticking around by clicking on the subscribe button. However, I'm gonna leave you to it now. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Oh, you know you're beautiful, and it's like